What is up, car addicts? Welcome back to the series where I build popular Fast and Furious vehicles using cars in GTA Online. Remember to let me know down below in the comments what Fast and Furious cars you want to see me customize next, and I'll display the most liked vehicle suggestion comment in the next build video. Now again guys, remember that the Fast and Furious series is separate from the normal movie/TV show series. But anyways, in today's video, we're going to be building the Heist Honda Civics from the first movie, with all three of them being pretty much identical. The car we're going to be using for this build is obviously the Dinka Kanjo SJ, which is mainly based on the 5th generation Honda Civic EJ, mixed with the 6th gen Civic. Now according to Craig Lieberman, who was a technical advisor for the first two films, the Civics used were actually EX and DX trims from 93 to 95. They used a total of 7 Civics for the film, and 6 were used for the second Fast and Furious movie with new paint jobs and body kits. Again, all the info is from Craig Lieberman. He's the king of knowledge for the first two films in terms of the Fast and Furious builds. But yeah, the Civics, very well known, stealing DVD players and TVs and all that stuff. But oh man, the early 2000s. Anyways, let's go ahead and start the builds for the Heist Civics from the movie The Fast and the Furious. Alright, Heist Civics from Fast and Furious, let's do it. So as usual for these builds, I always do full max armor and performance mods, so we'll do that to start here. Alright, so in terms of bumpers, you want to go down here to the one called the Arc bumper. It's going to be the last one here. Continuing to rear bumpers, I'm going to go all the way down here to the one called the Drift bumper. This is going to be the closest out of all the bumpers we have available. Yeah, some of them have the vents and stuff that are just go all the way across, and then this one here kind of has the lower section I'm looking for, but it just doesn't have any of the vents like the real one. So in general, the closest at least to me is going to be the Drift bumper, so we'll do that. Continuing to engine. So in the movie, the cars were portrayed as having spoon engines with T66 turbos and NOS and all this stuff, you know. It's craziness under the hood. But in reality, according to Craig Lieberman, who was a technical advisor for the first movie, well, the first two movies, he states that internally they were 100% stock. All they had were cosmetic mods, everything else was stock. So if we look at a stock engine bay of a 5th gen Civic, this is what it looks like. So I guess I'm going to make it look like that. So I'm going to go with a boxed air filter. And then for the valve covers, well, valve cover in this case, we don't really have a silver because when we change our primary and secondary, that's also going to change. So I think the best route to go here is the chrome, so we have the somewhat of a silver in there. Engine tunes will max out. The car did not have a strut brace, so put none there. Exhaust. So the exhaust on the car was very similar to this dual exit exhaust setup here, so we're gonna do that. According to Craig Lieberman, it was actually an eBay muffler, so there you go. Fenders. So this one you're actually going to keep stock. The car didn't have any custom fenders. Hood catches stock. The car didn't have that. Hood, same thing with the hood. The car just had a stock simple Civic hood, which is what we have here in GTA for the stock option. So almost identical there. Don't change that at all. Keep that. Interior. So for dash, you want to keep this stock. Same thing with doors. Seats, the entire interior was stock. It didn't have anything in here, even the steering wheel, everything was stock in the interior of the Heist Civics, so I want to keep all that stock interior wise. Headlights, you also want to keep it stock. Continuing to the neon kits, you want to go to neon layout, and you want to buy front, back, and sides, of course, for the infamous green underglow. And for neon color, you can choose lime green if you want, even though this is a bit yellowish. So if you want, what I recommend doing is just going into, if you have like a private crew that you have or a friend's crew or whatever, just change the color to like a normal green, and then just go down here, put it to crew, and boom, it just looks a lot better. So that's what I went ahead and did there. But continuing to liveries, you want to keep this stock. The car did not have any liveries. Mirrors also stock. The closest is going to be the stock mirrors. None of these are better. They just, yeah, stock mirrors are the closest. For plate, so the blue on white 2, which is what you get standard when you buy these cars, is going to be the closest in terms of the plate background. Now in terms of the plate text, we of course know there were 3 Heist Civics. One was driven by Letty, the other one driven by Dom, and the last one driven by Leon. So in terms of Letty's plate text, it was 4ISX433. Leon's plate was 4QMU951. And lastly, Dom's plate was 40ZR093. So for those of you who want to replicate that, even though we currently don't have iFruit or whatever available because, you know, Rockstar hasn't given us the website yet. Yeah, for now, instead of my generic plate, I'm actually going to throw my family plate on here. Even though it's not much of a family if you're putting them at risk robbing trucks. But hey, family because it's Dom. Alright. In terms of color, so for this one, you could go with a regular black here. So let me go with that to get rid of the regular black. And then you can just throw a regular black on here. It's fine. You can also do a crew black if you have a pure black crew. Now I did do the green for my underglow. So I would have to like change it and then close the app so it updates the crew. I'm not gonna do all that, so I'm just gonna use the black for now in this video. I think it's fine, so we'll use that. Secondary, you're gonna go ahead and make that match. This changes the brake caliper color, the interior stitching, and also for some reason the engine bay area, that also changes, so you want to make sure that you paint your secondary color black.
Don't she look pretty?
Trim color is, I guess, any of the trim options you have. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and make that match. So I'm just gonna go black there. Alright, roll cage. Now the car that flipped, Letty's car, that one was a stunt car, and that one did have a roll cage in it, but that was just for that one scene, just so that the stunt driver wouldn't get hurt, obviously. But the cars were portrayed as not having roll cages, so yeah, you want to do no roll cage here. Continuing to roof fins, the car didn't have any roof fins or vortex generators or any of that, so you want to keep the stock. No spoilers on the roof, nothing like that again, so stock there. Roof, you also want to keep the stock. The car did not have an extended antenna or any of this stuff here, so again, stock. Side panel, you actually want to make sure you put this in primary. Skirts. Now this one's a bit tricky. But at least the closest to me is going to be the speed skirts. So you can see the real car has like these vents on the side and stuff, and the only skirt that somewhat resembles that is going to be the speed skirts. You can see it has like the sort of like fake vent look there, so do that. Continuing to the splitters, so for this one you actually want to go to the GT splitter. It's going to be the last option here, well, second to last option, or you can even do secondary if you want that, but that's more money. It's the same color anyway, so GT splitter is going to be the closest. Spoiler upgrade. So unfortunately we do not have the identical spoiler from the movie. You can go through all these options here and you'll see that it's just, nothing is really all that close. The closest in terms of the general shape and the large side fins and stuff, after going back and forth here, is going to be the tuner spoiler. That's going to be the closest one. Now, yes, the wing was mounted from 2 posts, so you can probably say this might be closer, or even one of these larger ones. But honestly, I think from just the general look of it from far away, I think the tuner spoiler is going to be the closer one. So we're going to do that there. Sun strips, the car did not have any sun strips, so stock. Suspension. This one's fully up to you. I mean, the car sat pretty low. I recommend sport or street, whichever one you like better. I think I'm going to go with the sport for this one. Transmission. Now, again, like I talked about earlier, the cars internally were stock, but they did have the sound, which was faked from the turbo noises and stuff in the scenes. So it's up to you. I think it's worth having that sound. So for the blow off valve and stuff from the turbo, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Wheels. Now there's a few different options you can go here for the wheels. The closest, at least to me, is gonna be in the sport category, and they're gonna be the Feroce RRs. So these are gonna be the closest to the ones from the movie. You can also go to street and choose the down here. You can also choose the synthetic Z concaves, but these, they like the way it says they are concaves. The real car, the wheels don't concave; they kind of go the other way. So, yeah, and the Feroce RRs do that, and of course it does have like that two-piece look with the bolts on the wheels, just like the real one. I mean, in general, this is by far the closest. Now the real wheels, something I want to mention here, a lot of people don't really notice. Craig Lieberman mentioned it in his video. The wheels were actually, the face of the wheels were silver, but then the edges of the spokes and then the more like intersection of the wheel was actually gold, but you really can't see it in the movie at all. So yeah, I mean, it's not kind of negligible if you ask me, because the cars are always moving. You never really see the car stop somewhere, or a nice up close shot of the wheels. So the gold thing is really just negligible. I think it's better just to keep the silver. You can also go chrome if you want, but to me it just looks wrong. I mean, the wheels were bright silver. I know we can't do bright silver in GTA. A lot of people kind of disagree with me on this when I put the alloy color, but to me the chrome just looks wrong. I'm not a fan personally, so alloy color is the one I'm going to choose. And just so you can see the gold just looks wrong because it does the whole wheel instead of just portions of it. It's just completely wrong. So again, alloy is going to be the closest. Windows. So the cars were heavily tinted, I guess, to not only hide the stunt drivers driving the cars, but also, I guess, hide the heist team, right? Because they don't want to be seen. So yeah, you can do limo or you can do dark smoke. I think limo is going to be closer, so I'm going to do that. And that's all the options there. All right, let's take the Civic for a drive. It looks so cool. Like, you instantly recognize that as the Fast and Furious Civic with the green underglow, the body kit and stuff. I mean, you really can't mistake it for anything else. That is awesome. The family on the plate, that's hilarious. I love this. This is so cool. Wow. That is awesome. That is awesome. I love this. The sunroof and everything. Wow. Alright, floor it here. Front wheel drive, of course. The exhaust note of this car is kind of weird. Now, believe it or not, this thing is not in the compacts class. It's actually in the Coupes class, which is kind of interesting. I know this is the Kanjo SJ, but yeah, I don't know why they put it in Coupes. I know it's based on the Civic Coupe, but I don't know. I think compacts would have been better class for this car, but yeah, and it's one of the worst in terms of performance in the Coupes class, as you can imagine. And the handling, it drives okay, and it's not anything like crazy fast. It's a pretty slow car. I mean, what do you expect from a Civic, right? It's not going to be anything wild or crazy. But it definitely has the look. I mean, it looks so cool. The fact we can do this in GTA is just incredible. There's just so much you can do in this game, replicate so many cars, and you can tell Rockstar are big Fast and Furious fans because they've added liveries that are super close, body parts that you can see from this car that are super close. It's just awesome. Alright, let's pull over here and open all the doors and stuff. Even though I want to go in the sun, we can see a little better actually, so I'm just gonna go ahead and park it over here. Not good lighting there either. Okay, guess I'm just being too picky. Ah, here we go. Perfect. Well, bush is blocking it, but that's fine. Okay. Vehicle doors. Let's go all here. So there's the engine model, like I was talking about, the black. So you want to keep the engine bay there black. Yeah, it looks great. Awesome. I did the chrome there. Stock interior, like we talked about. The trunk situation. Yeah, I mean, this is... I love this. It doesn't get better than that, honestly. In terms of the parts and stuff, I mean, it's just crazy we can replicate it this close. Very, very happy with this. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and of course, let me know what Fast and Furious build you want to see me do next, and I'll see you in the next one.